Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthused.com, and once again I'm talking about another book that coincidentally also happens to be yellow. Well, parts of it are yellow. This is The Game Console, a photographic history from Atari to Xbox by Evan Amos. So, from No Starch Press. So, it's a nice looking book. I got some scratches on it, unfortunately. It's been about $14 to $16 on Amazon over the last couple of days. One of the interesting things about it is the texture. I'll show my wife the book, and she's like, "Why does it feel like that?" And it's interesting that they did it like that. There's texture on the spine here, and then these texture parts on the actual NES controller are textured on the book as well. And then the actual plastic pieces here are smooth, and then these are smooth, obviously. Interesting touch. So, and once again, yes, I am using a Wii U and a Wii box because they get it to the appropriate height. I set the tripod down. It just seems to work for me. So let's dive in. So as it looks here on the inside, you have a red and blue, and I'm pretty sure these are all the Kickstarter or folks who supported it or what have you from the beginning. I'm not going to go page by page. My wife was looking for this book. She looked through a lot of it, which is a surprise to me because she's largely not really into video games, technology, or things that I kind of go crazy over. It says to Aaron. She's like, "Well, why is that in there?" I was like, "I don't know. That had nothing to do with me. I'm a different Aaron, but it is kind of dope that it says to Aaron, even though it's clearly for another Aaron. But I like it anyway." So, as you can see, it breaks everything into generations. Going pretty far. You see the Xbox One is in there, not the X, the S is in here. The PS4 Pro, is it Pro in here? I don't know. I think it is, but the Switch is in here, which is kind of cool, as well as the, wow, we're counting, okay, people get kind of funny about what they consider to be where they divide the generations. I know, that's that can be polarizing, but it's whatever. This is the book about the hardware and things. It's a different take. So it divides things into generations, and I just found it interesting. I just happened to stumble upon it on Twitter. I don't know if it was Wario64 or somebody was like, "Hey, there's a book," and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting to me." Like I said, I'm not going to go page by page. I'm just going to show you some of the early editions here. So we start off with the Magnavox Odyssey. So it tells you the launch price, type of processor, how it's powered, the RAM normally, accessories, approximately how many were sold. I'm not sure what their source is on that. Maybe it's some of the other stuff that I didn't read to you just now. But it's pretty interesting. And there's a lot of surprises in here. I mean, yes, they have a wide variety of Palm clone consoles. You have the Fairchild F, which we all know Gerald Lawson, rest in peace, was one of the engineers largely responsible for developing this system, which was the first to use interchangeable cartridges. I would have been really even cooler had they mentioned Gerald in here. I know you could have mentioned anybody, but I'm a fan of Gerald Lawson's. Yeah, it goes into the actual controller, which, wow, yep. And I don't think I've ever seen a picture of the Channel F System 2. So here we are, which came out the year before I was born, if not the year that I was born. So, yeah. As did this, but I had one of these growing up. This is my first game console, 2600. And it's more about, the descriptions are relatively short, but it's just really kind of nice just to see something that captures so many different systems, some stats about it. It's a nice reference. You're in the office, you're by the water cooler, you're having a very heated debate about how many colors the Atari 2600 could display. Not necessarily at one time, but total. Somebody says 125, you say no, 128. That's never gonna happen. That's a completely fictitious use case. That's goofy. There's even prototypes in here. So, and I do actually have the Junior, but I tried to bring it back to life. It doesn't work. I found it at my parents' house last Thanksgiving. Tried to bring it back to life, didn't work. I mean, there's so many systems in here. It's just nuts. I mean, you have the infamous 5200 controllers, because why? What were they thinking? Innovation, but half-hearted. Yeah. So if you're not, you're not really into the Microvision or the Atari 800, which, who had the 800? I remember what was it? The one with the pastel colors, like the Easter egg candy buttons and stuff like that. I remember that one. That was the 400, I think. Or a buddy of mine, they had that as their first computer, I guess. I don't know. He just played games on it pretty much. Famicom, but stuff that you'd expect. But it goes into the video game crash, obviously, which leads us to the quote-unquote third generation. Although, to me, the crash, does it really specify? 82, 84. Okay, so, yeah. I think of the crash 83, 84, but that's pretty much along the same lines. And as I am kind of crazy about the Master System, of course I'm very interested in the SG-1000, SG-1002, the Famicom disk system, Sharp Twin Famicom. Case in point of an example of something I don't think I've ever heard of. The Casio PV-1000 came out in 1984. It's Japan only. It's understandable why I've never heard of it. Games released 13 to 15. I can't imagine what they look like. I'm not going to try to look that up, but I don't know. And then, I like the fact that they actually show you the boards. And wow. Yeah, we've come quite a ways. So you can see what's the actual connection for the controllers here. Looks like RF, but could it be? I don't know. Colors 8. The Super Cassette Vision. Like I said, there are just so many. This is the obvious one. This is on the cover of the book. Clearly, gonna have a mentioning of the NES. My wife and I got into a discussion about the Zapper because she had this one. I was saying, well, after some incidents, they started making the orange one. I mean, why just make the orange, the tip orange? You can make the whole thing orange except for this piece here. Just makes sense. Of course, I'm very partial to the Master System. Never having grown up, just love it now. So, yeah. It launched at $129, whereas the NES, the Deluxe set, launched at $179. 700 games for that, and 340. I don't know if that's counting the stuff that came out, like Brazilian only exclusives and stuff, because Brazil definitely shows some love to Sega, Tectoy, whomever. So as you can see, the author really did their homework and just showing the breakdown of the actual components. Yeah, even replacing the battery was still dead, but you didn't come to hear about that. When they really did their homework on, the Tap Wave Zodiac, the Nuon. They had to have a Nuon in here. 8 games. The Nuon was a Christmas hit, a must-have. And as my wife was looking at this book, I was telling her about how much I really, 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 really wanted the Panasonic Q around 2002, 3. And she's like, well, you should have asked me for it. I'm like, you would not have, if I told you what this would have cost, and that the fact that it was only duplicating what I could do with my existing GameCube, except I could play Japanese imports and watch DVDs, so I could already do on my DVD player, that would have been the point. Like, if I'm somewhere and I see one for like $100, maybe 200 tops, I get it, just to put on my shelf and just look at the reflective front and just go, but it was expensive then. There's not that many of them. I can't imagine that many out there, so I'm pretty sure it's expensive now. Yeah, so it says here, expect to pay $400 to $500 for an import region modded system. It just looks so dope, and the fact that you can play DVD just made it seem like, oh, but obviously I can play DVDs, I can play GameCube games on a GameCube, on a Wii U or a PC, a lot of places. So, didn't really sell that. This is less than the actual N64. So the GameCube was not flying off the shelves. Definitely some hits. So, like I said, there's stuff in there that you already know about. And then there's a ton of systems that you might not know about. Well, people know about the Pippin, but the Casio Loopy, case in point. Who knows about the Casio Loopy? You know, that's nuts. The Super, I'm like, what? I don't even know what this is. It looks like a Super Nintendo, but only had 12 games. Came out in 1995. The shape of this controller is quite odd. AB though, makes sense to me. Now I've heard of the Bandai Plate, I've heard of the NEC PC effects, but I remember I was at a Too Many Games back when it was still small, and I saw a Bandai Plate on sale. And I was like, I'm not gonna, like, what would I do with a Bandai Plate? So obviously I left it for someone who really, really wants a Bandai Plate, more so than me. I used to see the Amiga 30 CD32 at a video store that a buddy of mine worked at. And I wasn't into collecting then, and I regret, it was in the box and everything. I could have got it for like $100, but I wasn't thinking, I didn't have a collector's mentality then, so it wasn't something I really, really thought about doing, so I never did, unfortunately. So, Femtown's Marty, I'm glad they have the IQ in here. Of course, this is the moment I show my wife that I actually own an IQ, and she's looked at me like I was crazy, but you know, that's okay. She still loves me, despite my craziness. This is a recent acquisition, my IQ. I'll do a video for that, but we'll see. I like that they show the various models and versions of the PS1, the launch, and as you see, they got rid of, what's the difference here? Oh, is that S-Video? Oh, the Japanese, okay, the Japanese version of S-Video. Oh, nice. US didn't, then they got rid of the composite. Still had the parallel port, and then got rid of the parallel port. And, oh, the only one I own is this one, and I have the Interact screen. I don't have the good Sony one, I have the other screen. It works. It's not as nice as this one, but it does work. As you can see, this is quite an interesting book, and there's a lot here I didn't know about, and I'm gonna leave it here on the Mega Duck, because what in the world is a Mega Duck? There's only one game, Brick Wall, which is built in. This released in South America and sold under the Cougar Boy branding. So the Mega Duck sold under Cougar Boy branding. Okay, I gotta flip because I've heard of the Atari, the Game Mate. That's just a Tetris clone thing. Yeah, I don't even know, the Viewmaster? Texas Instrument, this is 1989, look at that. All right, I think I'll leave it here. On the Memorex VIS. At this video, in 1992, it was $700. It's a CD-based system. I can't imagine how much, if it cost $700 back then, I'm sure they made 8. I can't imagine how much the Memorex VIS would cost now. So anyway, as you can see, for less than 20 bucks, this is a very interesting book. I'm glad I have it to the collection. It's like now that so many books are coming out about characters, consoles, what have you, that these are the new things to collect. Books about things that you also collect, but are also nostalgic about. I'm not sure when the next book video will come out. I did kickstart the Master System book that comes out next year, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, the game console. I think this is a pretty worthy pickup. 300 plus pages, nice texture. You can hear it, can't you? Yeah. Oh, listen to it. See, smooth, not smooth, smooth, not smooth, not smooth. Okay, I'll stop. Anyway, if you like the video, click thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.